Well, hello, my friends. Welcome to the Artist Next Level podcast. Very happy to be here with you today, particularly because I have a surprise for you. Today, I'm going to share an interview that we had in the show Tap Into Your Creativity just this past Saturday. So let me tell you a little bit about this show. So there's this artist, Sandra Filamenovich, amazing artist, who during the pandemic, she decided to start interviewing artists and looking into their studio through her Instagram page, as a way to give artists also more visibility and to tell the artist stories and to visit their studio. So she started to do that every Saturday at noon, which is Central Time, through her Instagram page. It's a live show. And of course, every show gets recorded so you can go and watch them later. But the amazing thing is that not only, it was like this kind of interview setup, but what Sandra did, which is super amazing, that's why I love it, is she asked every artist who was in her show to donate a small work that could be also put for sale during the show, and 100% of the proceeds will go to Feeding America organization, which they provide meals for people who don't have them, particularly right now as we're going through the pandemic. So it's amazing. Since she started on to now, she has raised over $23,000, for Feeding America. Over 200,000 people have been fed because of the effort of Sandra. It's amazing what she's doing. And so I had a pleasure of being in her show a couple months ago. And I shared my studio. I shared, my video setup here. We did a behind the scenes and what I do. It was really cool. You can find it on her Instagram, which I'll share in a second. And I donated 2 pieces. One sold out really quickly and people wanted another one. So we sold 2 artworks for that. So, in our conversation with Sandra, she said, you have to go back again. And now I want you to bring Dr. Yanina Gomez. So Dr. Yanina Gomez is my wife, for those of you who do not know that. She is a psychologist. She talks about mindset, wellness. She's an author. She has a doctorate in psychology. And she has, done a lot of also courses and videos for artists, to work with our mindset. And she has helped me personally a great deal to be the type of artist that I am right now. So, Sandra said, let's bring her in the show. Let's have her also talk about mindset, wellness, and I have great questions for her. So we did. So last Saturday, we were in Tap Into Your Creativity show with Sandra, and it was amazing. Great conversation. It was about an hour-long conversation. Really, Sandra asking really powerful questions to my wife about wellness and, as artists, things that we can do, particularly as we go through this whole situation. And it is such a powerful conversation that I asked Sandra, can I please share this interview in my podcast here with all my friends, all of you guys who listen to the Artist Next Level podcast? And she said, of course, share it with the world. So here I am, my friend, super excited to share with you this interview of Tap Into Your Creativity with Sandra Filamenovich, and you're going to love it. Now, what I would like you to do before I share this, I want to make sure, and you can pause this podcast for a second, go to Instagram, and I want you to follow Sandra. I want you to follow her at Sandra Fail Art. So on Instagram, Sandra Fail Art. So I'll spell it for you a little bit. Sandra, Sandra, and then you're going to add Fele. So Sandra Fele, and then art after that. So Sandra, Fele, art. And actually, you can find that, if it's easier, in the description of this podcast. I'm going to share her Instagram handle. So maybe a lot easier for you to find it right there. Copy it and then just find it on Instagram. Follow Sandra. Make sure you tune in into Tap Into Your Creativity show every Saturday at noon. And it's awesome. It's live. And if you cannot make it, of course, you can check it out later on. So I invite you to do that. If you follow Sandra, make sure that you let her know, send her a message that you listen to this podcast. That would be super, super awesome. So, without further delay, I'm super happy to introduce you today to Tap Into Your Creativity.
Resources, inspiring interviews, business practices, and practical advice to take your art career to the next level. Join Sergio Gomez in today's Artist Next Level and get ready to take control of your career.
The show will go on. And I just want to say thank you so much for joining me today and tap into your creativity. Yanina, so nice to meet you finally. You are such an inspiration, and you have helped so many people, including myself. And you guys are a powerful rock star couple that that is just so fun. I'm sure it's so fun to be in your household where everyone is doing here and there and everywhere, and it's just so fun, you know, with your kids, and you are working in the studio in the basement, and Yanina's upstairs, and it's like,
the dog is everywhere.
Yeah, and the dog is everywhere.
She's barking all the time. I don't know.
So hopefully she behaves.
Yeah.
So how is that actually? Let's go into that right away. How is that dynamic for you guys to work together and be in the same physical place and having children around? How is that working out for you guys?
Did you want to answer?
Well, we can do 50-50. I'll talk about the kids. So fortunately, our kids are already teenagers, so at least we don't have to manage that. But of course, because of the pandemic, our son was supposed to be in college, and our daughter, she just went back recently to in person. So all last year, you know, it was kind of a reaccommodating. My office, where I do all my work, the coaching and the promotion, it was upstairs. Kids needed more space, had to move downstairs, and then Yanina, you know, she moves around the house too. But that's kind of like the physical aspect of moving things. But maybe you can tell a little of the of the other part.
It's just adjusting and being organized. I'm kind of like an organizational freak, and we just adjust. We have a system in which for example, our calendars are synchronized. So I know from my phone when he's going to go live or when he's going to do something, and he knows when I go live and when I do my workshops, because in addition to, and I'm sure we'll be talking about it in a moment, but in addition to the Our Next Level Academy, I also offer parenting workshops to organizations and school districts. So, you know, right now, all my workshops are offered online. So I have my workshops and he has his things. So we just, you know, synchronize everything, and we know who is doing what and where. So he doesn't double book, because in downstairs where he does his shows, we have different backgrounds. So I have my background, he has his background. So, you know.
So it's very, I mean, it's organized chaos.
Yeah.
Organized chaos.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, it sounds like a perfect way to show people how you can work at home, because I think there's so many people working together at home right now, and they've never probably have done in the past, and to stay, you know, sane, not only in your marriage, but also to be productive. Right. You need to have a schedule. You need to be organized. You need to have a routine. I think you have to be very structured. Your days have to be very structured for it to work.
They are.
And I think the hardest part is when any of us is going to go live in Zoom or Instagram or somewhere, has to tell everyone in the house, hey, I'm going live, so otherwise somebody's going to come running. I did at the beginning, I had the pleasure of walking without my shirt in front of my son's Zoom when he was at school. I'm walking around, he's like, in the class.
Everyone, even the professor, was like, what is that? But yeah, that's one thing in our household. Our children also, like our son has his own business, and it's fully online. And so he does a lot of lives, a lot of videos. And our daughter,
oh my goodness,
she's kind of starting her own little thing too. So she does have lives and videos. So we're constantly letting each other know when we go live, so they're not interrupted.
Wow. So everyone uses the basement or all over?
No. Our son's setting is in his room. Our daughter's setting.
You like here?
And I like here. This is usually what I do my workshops. Well, this is what I do my show. But then the workshops, I do them downstairs in the basement.
Yeah, what happens downstairs, we have a studio set up with lighting and everything. So that's what I used. I like to just go and turn the lights on and start. But Janina likes more of the natural ambience. Here we have natural light. So
yes. I would be with Dr. Yanina. I would be in the natural lighting. We saw your cave last time, and that cave works really well. I mean, I'm so surprised, but you have many stations. So if you missed our part 1 with Sergio, I would encourage you to go back and look for it, because you will see for the first time, Sergio showed his whole studio space and his setup and his technical.
I forgot about that. That is so true.
Yes. So, so I know all about that space, which is fantastic, and it works beautifully for you because you also have a gallery that is in Chicago. So you have that gallery space, but because of the pandemic, you've been home. You kind of go there, but back and forth, and so anyways, I'm so impressed. I am a member of the Art Next Level Academy, and I encourage you guys that if you've never heard of it, go and look at Sergio and Dr. Yanina's Art Level Academy, because it is truly something that you will learn. You will understand a different way of wellness, organization, business, marketing, and how to transform your brand. How to move forward, and how to move forward in 2021 and what we're doing now. You guys have so much information there. So why don't we start with Dr. Yanina, because you really take the part of the Art Next Level Academy on wellness and self-improvement. So can we talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah, in the Art Next Level Academy, we believe that in order for you to become the artist you are meant to be, you have to take care of yourself from the inside out. You know, especially, and this was our belief before the pandemic, from when we started the Art Next Level Academy, and now it's more important. I think now the wellness component of our lives, it's significantly more important than perhaps it was before. I guess it has always been important, but I think what we're going through as the world, it has really made a greater impact in our wellness. And, you know, it's important that we focus and put attention to our inner conflicts and what's going on with us inside, that we have learned so well to wear masks. And I'm not only talking about this mask, I'm talking about the masks that we wear when we are with other people. We have learned to hide our emotions. We have learned how to hide our inner conflicts. But what happens is that when we ignore these parts of us that are hurt, or the wounds, the triggers, then it affects the way we function as a human being. And in the artist's case, that they function as artists, you know, then you start experiencing those mindset blocks that really, and in our experience, we have seen this over and over, mindset blocks that really prevent you from being the artist you're meant to be. You know, the mindset blocks that tell you that your art is not good enough, that you don't have the talent, that art is not a career. That's a big one. That you cannot live by your art, that you cannot succeed in the complicated art world, which is quite complicated. But, you know, you got all these messages. And that's why we take so much attention to our wellness in the Art Next Level Academy, because once we take care of that, we can be better people, we can be better artists, we can express, we can share those ideas and those emotions in a more harmonious way as you create the art. So that's why in the Art Next Level Academy, we offer course, we have an entire library of wellness. I put together a course that is a 5 steps to clearing mindset blocks and refocus program.
I love that one. Just the title in itself, because the title is so perfect, right? It's refocusing your mind, and then really like totally changing your mindset from the beginning to the end, and how to do that. Because I think that, you know, not only as artists, we always are asking ourselves, you know, is our art good? Are we good? You know, we are so judgmental and we're so hard on ourselves. Yes. That's just no matter pandemic or no pandemic. Right. We are always on that mode. Then add on staying at home. If you didn't work at home before, now working home here, it's just a really tough, mental block that you get, and you get paralyzed and you don't create.
Yes. It's a cycle. It's a cycle. And I never say that I guarantee that you will not experience mindset blocks after you take that course, but I can tell you this. I can tell you that you will be better able to handle them and address those wounds or those parts of you that are telling you no, and how to address them in a way that your inner self becomes more harmonious inside.
And positive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you shift that mentality into, well, yeah, it's difficult, but not impossible, and so that's kind of like where we are. And we also offer. We talk about stress. We talk about finding your uniqueness. Which are all those are inner conflicts that we experience. And of course, I am a full believer of guided meditation and relaxation. So that's something that once a month, I offer a guided meditation for our
first Wednesday, the first Thursday of every month.
Yeah.
And Yanina's voice is perfect for it. I mean, you really can focus and just listen, and you have that. You're in the perfect, I guess, path for yourself because you're able to help yourself but others at the same time. And so I highly recommend taking this because, can you also say briefly about you're keeping the positive mindset and how to do that? Is there any tips that you have for that?
Well, the first thing I have to say is to acknowledge that there's some people that are born positive naturally. That's him. He's just, you can even probably see it in the video. He radiates. He has this aura or energy around him. And anyone who is around him can immediately feel that positivity. So he was born with it. But there's others like myself that we have to be intentional about it, that we have to understand that our default is being more pessimistic and perhaps more like protecting ourselves. That kind of like, okay, wait a minute, what's going on here? What are the intentions? What's happening? I need to protect myself. So for those of us that are like myself, it's the first thing I want to say is to practice self-compassion and be patient with yourself. Being positive is not,
easier said than done.
Yes. And that's why it doesn't come out naturally, but you have to be intentional about catching yourself, understanding that part of you that might be protecting those inner protectors that we have that are constantly telling us these things like, watch out, that's not good. You have to be careful with that person. Check out what's going on, so just have that, being mindful and acknowledge that part of you that is protecting you, but at the same time, letting that part of you know that, it's going to be okay. We have to do, this is something that's going to be good for me. This is something that I want to try. And we learn from failures, seeing failure as a learning experience versus seeing it as a failure that, itself, because we tend to see things that don't go our way as failures. But what I have learned, and it has taken me years, right? He's my witness, is that failures are not, to kind of shift that mindset, not seeing things that don't happen my way as a failure, but rather as a learning experience. And then ask myself, what can I do better? What did I do wrong so I don't repeat it again? How can I avoid that? So just looking for those areas of that are a learning experience, and not repeat the same mistake again. And if I were to repeat the same mistake again, then see, what happened? What caused me to repeat that experience again, or that action, or that decision? And, practice self-compassion. And that's something that I'm learning myself, because I've been always like a perfectionist, and in my head there's no space for mistakes. And if I make a mistake, if I make it twice, it's being a fool, So trying to understand that no, it's being human, and we all have different stages in life and where we are stronger than others, and acknowledge that. And
I think also, frustration is a big part of that learning curve, right? We get frustrated with ourselves. We get frustrated with everyone who's around us because we expect perfection from everyone because we're expecting it from ourselves. So I think it's important also to lower those expectations because by lowering it, then everything that will come your way is going to be a plus, right? You don't have anything to compare it to. I've learned that too. I had to lower my expectations because anything that will come my way will be a win. And like you were saying, I think it's important to fall, but most importantly is how you come up from that fall and how you can move forward with that fall, right? So it's that learning from experiences. And it's the same in painting. I believe that, you can't start by knowing everything. It's all trial and error and not being perfect and not trying everything to be perfect and do your first painting and trying to sell that first painting. Well, that doesn't work that way. There's a process in order for it to work. And I think it's like life. It's a parallel to life.
Right. And a couple of things that I wanted to add is the first one is that I have learned through experience that if you don't go through those struggles and hurdles, you will not learn. You will not grow as a person. I am yet to see someone who has grown personally and professionally just because everything is perfect. So struggles and hurdles, now I'm seeing them again, talking about that mindset shift as my tool or my way of growing personally and professionally. So that kind of helped a lot when it comes to facing those struggles. And another thing that I have learned that I really encourage everyone to do if you are not doing it yet is that the best way to grow is to compare yourself to yourself. And compare yourself today to the person you were yesterday, and today and tomorrow compare yourself to the person you are today. And once you stop comparing yourself to others, believe me, things get easier and anxiety decreases and stress decreases because, when you compare yourself to others, it's like you're comparing apple with oranges. But when you compare today's you today to yesterday's you, and tomorrow you compare yourself to today's yesterday, then you will see that definitely growth is taking place, or perhaps not. And we have to do something about it if growth is not taking place. But that's the healthiest, more powerful approach to learning and to growing personally and professionally.
And what's interesting to me is, we are so unique. Each one of us have their own stories. You cannot repeat. I cannot repeat Sergio's stories. I cannot repeat your stories because I have my own stories. So as long as you stay true to your own story and your own experiences, then that will help you not to compare yourself to others. Because you will start to feel special because no one has your story. No one will be able to say, I was motivated today to go to the studio because I had a cup of coffee and it was incredible. And when I was having it, I thought of this and this and that. Well, no one is having that, this and this and that. It's only you that's having that.
Right.
Right.
And another thing about comparing yourself to yourself is that you learn to own responsibility when things are not happening for you, because then you cannot blame it on anybody. Oh, well, I mean, she's doing better because she's doing this and that. Oh yeah, he's a successful artist because whatever. No, but I cannot be like Sergio. So because I'm not in the position of Sergio, then I'm not growing as an artist. I don't have what Sergio has, then I cannot grow as an artist. No, so those are excuses we put on ourselves to justify the lack of growth. So that's why when you stop comparing yourself to others and you start comparing yourself to yourself, that's when things happen, when you see growth. And because now you are taking ownership. Now I cannot say, well, Sergio is lucky. No, because I'm not comparing myself to him. I'm comparing myself to who I was in the past. So it's kind of like there's all these different mind games that we need to actually play in order for us to live healthier lives, I think. It's just,
and you
we're
also talk
complicated
about
people.
visualizing yourself, like this visualization, like where do you see yourself, and how do you actually see yourself, and then that mindset. It all kind of, it's like a dot, dot, dot that you start connecting everything, and all of a sudden
Right.
it clicks on you, and you're like, oh my God, okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
I think also a huge part of it is organization. We talked about this in the
Absolutely.
beginning, but I think that in order to achieve all the things that, I mean, I can't imagine Sergio and Yanina's life without having organizational skills, because the amount of work that you both produce in one day, in 1 hour, in 15 minutes, it is something really spectacular. So can you guys talk about that?
We
Sorry?
sleep 8 hours. Let me tell you, we do sleep our hours. That's
my
something
gosh.
that is the #1 priority. We have our 8 hour sleep. That's for
Yes.
sure.
Yes,
That's-
and someone just said, and time for us all. Correct. I mean, Sergio, I mean, he's there like all the time responding. He's there. You know, we talk about community building and being there for each other. And you guys are really there. I mean, Sergio, you have even a texting place where we can text you. I mean, come on, who does that? Like, you know, who has time for that? Well, you guys.
I know, right?
I would love to hear about how you tell me one day, how does that work?
Well, I mean, and here's the thing. Well, first I want to say hi to everybody who's here.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, guys, for
Thank
being
you.
here and
Yes. Well,
joining
just
us.
like a little like blurb, we had to be in Sergio's channel because my channel, I couldn't invite Sergio and Janina into my channel, but this is Tap Into Your Creativity, and Sergio and Janina are my guests. But it's a little flip today, so it's okay. We're rolling with it. We're going with it.
We're adapting. We're
Exactly,
adapting,
exactly.
and moving along. So
Exactly.
you know, one of the, like, I think sometimes we kind of put a little bit too much kind of weight on the idea of busyness, right? And like your busyness, being really busy is like the best thing in the world, and it is not. You know, I actually suffer from workaholism, right? We had a conversation this morning. You know, from the moment I wake up, my brain starts going with ideas, and then I start bombarding Yana with ideas. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that.
As I'm walking outside the room trying to get my
she's
laptop.
like, I don't have my coffee yet. I have no idea what you just said, right? But so that's how my brain works, and I have to be careful. And that's where she comes in and helps me out to remember that not everything is work, and not everything is for as much fun as I'm having and as much exciting that it is for me to, you know, to do what I do, make the art, and then show up and do the courses and do the coaching and do my channels too, and connect and answer people and help. You know, I got to remember too that there's more to life to it. And so in that sense, you know, what I always tell artists is like, you know, you learn as you go how many plays you can handle, and when the red flags are coming in, when say, okay, that's enough for me. And it's okay if you can only handle 1 or 2 plates versus somebody who handles 10. You know, I think sometimes we put too much praise on the person.
We're overflowing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
And that's when we start comparing ourselves
Exactly.
to others, and it becomes unhealthy.
yeah, and I think there's nothing wrong if you can only focus on 1 or 2 things, and that's what you do, and you love that, and that's exactly, and that is fine, you know. But others, you know, like me, we cannot just do 1 or 2 things because our brain is wired differently, and
But I think you guys do not, or maybe I'm wrong, and correct me if I am, you do not procrastinate. You know, that I think that's a big word, and I think we are all guilty of it.
Yeah.
But you guys have a form and a format to try and not do that, and try to not, you know, find other things to, you know, and especially when you're at home, right? It's so easy. The phone is ringing. I need to cook dinner. I need to do this. I need to do that. So I think that Sergio has provided a form where you actually write down what your day is going to look like. And for you to visualize that, see it, and then you're compromising with yourself. You're saying like, okay, I'm going to do this today, and I'm going to follow this today, right?
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what makes the difference too. Like by default, I'm a procrastinator, and by default, I'm not organized. It's really opposite to how people kind of think for me, but because really, I let me just give you a little context. Like before I married Janina, I was the guy who I didn't even have a checkbook. I kept my pay, my payment from work in my pocket all day long. And I would just use it, and I had no idea until I run out, right? That was me. I had no structure. I was just having a great time. So then I married Janina, and I started learning about, well, there's actually a benefit of being organized and being structured and doing things. So I owe to her,
it's the yin and the yang.
Yeah,
I'm sure that you brought something to Janina as well.
Yeah, exactly. But so in that
many
sense,
things he has brought many things.
In that sense, it has really, I have learned over time to structure my day, and I have, sharing in the academy and also sharing many of my breakfast shows, how I structure my day so that things happen. And for me, like, I switch different things. Like in one day, I cannot dedicate one day to one thing. Like in the morning, I may do an interview, and then at midday, then I may go in the studio. And then after that, next 2 hours, I might be doing a coaching call. And then, so my brain can switch, easily, and allows me to jump in different things but get them done, which is the most important thing. You can be really busy, just running in circles and get nothing done. I think the difference is what I really try to do is look at my time and say, okay, what do I need to do to get it done? And when it's done, I know then I can move into the next thing.
And if I can add something, and that's what makes it so unique about him and his the strategies that he teaches in the Art Next Level Academy, and the systems that he comes up with, that is through that, those are the things that he has tried and have worked for him, because he was very unorganized. So he understands what it is like to be unorganized and not know how to handle that lack of organization and how frustrating and stressful that is. But yet he has come up with those systems, and he has put those systems in place to make him who he is today. So that's why, when he teaches something to other artists, it's all, I would say 99% of the time is because he has gone through what you're going through as an artist, but,
Exactly.
but he has decided to do something about it. And now he's teaching it to other artists.
Right.
So,
But I think, being an artist, the business side of things, not all artists have that. In fact,
right.
I would say, 80% of artists don't know how to market, don't know how to use social media for their advantage. They just don't know how to move forward from it. I think that you guys have become a perfect combination of having your artistic background, Sergio, and still being an artist, very active artist, having a gallery space where you invested and now have transformed and help others to come into the space and have them, have seen from their art for others. And also, you do a lot of things for free that that's who you are. You want to share. You guys both want to share your knowledge, and it's not all about money all the time. I think you are truly, genuinely people that want to share and want to make artists better. And I think that is what you have, it's very unique. And I have found this in Tap Into Your Creativity this year, is that all the artists have opened up and really want to share their process and inspirations for people at home, when before they were really working on their own. They didn't really care to share. They were maybe thinking, oh, maybe if I share too much, they'll start painting like me. I think things have changed, and it's really remarkable to see how people want to really help others. Have you seen that, Sergio, too, on your end?
Oh, absolutely. I think I grew up, because of my age, so we grew up before social media, and I remember the day when, as an artist, you would not share your artist secrets, right? You're like, all the new young artists would be like, you have to go through the hardship that I went through in order to get where I was. That was kind of like the mentality I remember growing up, and as I looked at others. And, but I think, the shift was social media, the ability to share, and really having the mindset of, when one of us wins as an artist, we all win, right? That's my mindset. When one of us wins, when Sandra you know, makes a sale, we all win. Why? Even though, you know, it was your sale, because then arts and culture, you know, gets to be put up in a higher place in the world. And when you go out about with that mindset of not only scarcity, but of sharing, abundance, exactly, the benefits are actually much higher, and they just come, you know, along the way without you even looking them for it.
And you know, and I'm sure Yanina would agree with this. You become a better person too, because you all of a sudden you open up the floods. So you're more honest with yourself, with others. You feel good. It's always so good to help others. I mean, there's nothing better than doing that. It feeds my soul. It feeds who I am. And I'm an open book. Ask me whatever you want. I will tell you. If I know it, I will tell you. You know, I don't have any secrets. And I think that is a key right now, to help each other out and to lift each other up versus trying to squash everyone who's behind you or ahead of you.
Oh, I was just going to say, it's just that idea of, you know, this pandemic, for obvious reasons, have separated us physically, but at the same time, we have to find ways to continue with the arts, to continue with the culture, to continue with to maintain a unity. So together as a whole, we can continue promoting, because eventually things will open up again. The theaters will open up, the galleries, the art fairs, which, by the way, I can wait to go to Miami. We did it last year for obvious reasons. This year, who knows? But it's like, when are you opening?
I know.
You know, it will open again. You know, it's important that we continue with that. You know, like our parents used to say to us, continue with the tradition, right? But in these cases, to continue with the, you know, sharing the arts, sharing our cultures, sharing the value of it, and also taking advantage of, now that things are going online, so, you know, evolving and adapting to this new reality. And because if we keep on thinking things are going to go back to the way they were, well, then we're having that mentality that, you know, this is going to be it and there's not going to be progress and that things are not going to change. The reality is that things are they are already changed. They have, maybe I should just say, they have already changed.
Forever.
So, you know, forever. Yeah, and as a community, it's good to work together and adapt, adjust, and learn, you know, and use what we have right now to continue sharing and selling, which at the end of the day, artists, that's what they want. They want either, you know, to be that their artwork is shown and seen by others, or purchased by others. So
right,
know,
exactly.
We have to continue with that.
And I think also, you know, like you said, you have to pivot. You're continually pivoting, right, and adjusting to the situation, and hopefully creating and feeding your community of artists, right? So being present. A lot of people have asked me, and I know they've asked you guys, you know, how do I find my community of people? Right. You know, how do I find that? Me, myself, I'm always there. I'm always asking questions. I'm always answering questions. I'm engaging. I make sure that if I see Sergio's painting, I let him know that I love his painting and I love what he's doing. Things that I would like to touch a little bit on is Instagram, for example, has changed again their algorithms, and now, you know, we're kind of just, a lot of people are like just very frustrated with it because they don't know how to grow their audience. So can you talk, Sergio, a little bit about that?
Yeah, which is it's a perfect topic where, you know, we been doing like this Instagram. I think you do the Instagram webinar too, right? Exactly, because it's all about that. You know, the algorithms change, and you know, things change. What used to work 6 months ago, it doesn't longer work anymore. You know, because things always change. So what you got to do is kind of learn what is the algorithm doing, how it works, what they want, so that you'll be on the side of the algorithm, not fighting against it, right? The algorithm, you know, there's nothing evil about it or wrong with it. It's a curator, you know. I see it as a curator. It's when you log into any social media platform, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, it tries to put content that it thinks, you know, is what you want to see, right? That's why when I go to Instagram, right, I don't see pictures of cooking, because that's not the things that I'm looking for when I go to Instagram, right? I see a lot of art, so that's what it shows me, right? And so it looks at your interest. So having said that, understanding those things and understanding kind of like what are the newest features that Instagram is featuring right now, so that you can work on them. For example, I remember, when stories came around, right? The first time that stories came around, right? Which was kind of a competition to Snapchat. So when stories came around, Instagram was pushing them. So everybody who was using stories got a lot of free organic reach. Well, Instagram stories are still important, but are not the newest thing. The newest thing right now is Instagram Reels, because now it's the competition to TikTok, right? They want people to stay on Instagram, not just go to TikTok. So when you're using Instagram Reels, I posted one this morning, for example, and one yesterday and the day before. When you post Instagram Reels, you get free organic reach. And that is the thing that you have to always keep learning about, what is the newest thing that the platform is doing if you want to get the most organic free reach from it. Otherwise, you have to pay to get seen by more people, right? So that's kind of like the key, on a nutshell, the key things that you want to do that in any platform, looking at, what's the newest thing and how can I, as an artist, adapt that to what I do, and then, start creating content and have fun with it. At the end of the day, have fun with it.
So since you talked about TikTok, should people then move to TikTok or start using TikTok? Is that how Instagram used to be? So people are moving into TikTok?
I love TikTok. I know you're on TikTok too, Sandra. So, it's funny because
I'm very new at it, but I'm trying my best.
No, that is awesome. Here's the thing, every platform, and we have talked about this, every platform evolves, right? When we think about Facebook was created when Mark Zuckerberg and his buddies created. It was created for college students to connect. Now, 20 years later, now grandpas and my dad, 80-something years old, he's in Facebook, right?
Yes.
So
you want to keep up with the family and the pictures.
Exactly. So it evolved over time. Instagram at the beginning, Instagram is 10 years old. When Instagram started, it was for photographers, people who want to just take cool pictures. Well, then we all came to Instagram. Selfies, yeah. The lifestyle, that's where the influencer kind of idea started. And then TikTok is the newest. Well, not the newest, is one of them. The newest right now is Clubhouse, but TikTok is the next kind of thing where it started to grow really quickly. It's very different. And what I learned fast is that whenever I went to TikTok, I couldn't use the same mentality that I was using in the other platforms because the content just didn't match. TikTok is about spontaneity. It's quick. It's fast. It doesn't like repurposed material that you may bring from other platforms and just put it in. It's about like, it's more personalized too.
Yes. And I think that the next interview that I do to both of you is going to go on Clubhouse. We're going to create a room and we're going to invite people to ask questions because, like you said, that is the new big thing. And it is really cool. I'm really enjoying it. Very different from this kind of, way of doing things with pictures, because you don't add any pictures necessarily there. But I still think that Instagram is a place for artists where you can get inspired, where curators are still going in and looking for art and looking for artists. Do you agree with that? I mean, I think that,
100%. That's why I'm still here, even though I'm slowly kind of growing my audience on TikTok, but that's kind of, starting to test, to work on it, to get to know it, to have be there early on. And then whatever happens, it happens. But yeah, right now Instagram is where, as you said, galleries are all here, curators are all here, art collectors. What art collectors are doing right now, because they cannot go to art fairs, they're spending a lot of time on the web and on Instagram, looking for art and looking at artists. So it's the perfect platform to be
In
with.
fact, for me, for Tap Into Your Creativity, all my curation has been on Instagram. So I firsthand, I can tell you that this is where I go. This is where I see. I see how often you post. I see how often if you're committed, if you're professional, if you're showing up every day, or not every day, but if, you need to stay in a path, I think.
Right.
right, Sergio? I mean, I think that's very important. Like for you, you do it very naturally now. It comes to you as a second skin. Not for a lot of people. They feel very intimidated by it.
Yeah, totally. And I think that's kind of like, as I was talking about the mindset blocks, right? We all have those mindset blocks.
Yes.
Like, what if I go live and nobody's watching, right? So,
exactly.
What if I do this? Yeah. What if I make a post?
That's where you come in, Janina, when you start, right? Questioning everything that you do. You just have to go for it. And
exactly.
And if you don't go for it, you'll never know.
And guess what? When I started doing my Breakfast with Sergio episode, nobody was watching, and that's okay, right?
Exactly. And look at you now. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. The first time I went live on TikTok, literally nobody was watching.
Yes, I think that's, but if you don't try new things, you stay mediocre. You always need to, stay fresh, learn, so you don't stay mediocre.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I would say, because not everyone is into social media, and I totally get that, because I am one that I don't, I'm not into social media, but I understand the value of it. So I guess you don't have to be in all these platforms that we're talking about, because it can be overwhelming to some. Once again, there's people that love it. He can be in all the platforms. And it looks like you two like, to explore all these platforms and kind of feeds you and you get excited about it. But there's also other people who don't. They're more private. They do want to show their art. They do want to express their creativity, but they feel very uncomfortable about being in all these social media platforms, and not even talking about keeping track with all of them. Did I post here? Did I post there? Oh my goodness, did I do the Instagram? Oh, did I do the TikTok? It's too much. And for those of you who feel that way, I know, I hear you. That's why I try other platforms, and I said, forget that. I'm closing my accounts. Just focus on maybe one that you're the most comfortable with, and be very good at that one. So don't feel the pressure, going back to compare yourself to yourself, not others, but at the same time, you learn from others. I'm not saying that not to understand and not to pay attention to what other people are doing and learn from their success. That's not what I'm talking about. So, focus on maybe on one and be the best at it. And
I also think that, how we feel about social media, it can create a lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
And it can be very counterproductive. So if you're feeling anxious, stop. I think. Don't keep going, because it will only feed your anxiety. Right. So you have to listen to your body and listen and feel. And that's why I think you talk about, Janina, to check with yourself every morning. How am I feeling today? What am I, where is my mind? Where am I going? If I'm feeling anxious, don't go into social media. That only feeds your anxiety even more. Yeah. So can you talk a little bit about that? Because I think it's very important to touch about that. I mean, I think that more than ever, you probably are seeing patients that are, so anxious from everything that they're reading. And we're not talking about artwork. We're talking about, the noise that's happening out there. I think that it's a very important topic.
It is. And what I would say, I mean, there's many things to say about that. We can be here forever. But what I have found to be the most helpful right now as an artist, if this is where you are, again, just select only one platform if that's what it's the best for you, and go to social media with a purpose. You have a strategy or a purpose. Go into social media to shift, to be specific. This is, even if you need to create a list of the things that you're going to do, then do, if that helps you. I'm going to post my newest artwork, or I'm going to answer specific questions related to my artwork. I'm going to only check into those who are supporting me and maybe provide some engagement, on others' posts. And, have a plan. See it as your marketing platform instead of a social media platform. And not to be only, posting your stuff, but engaging with those who are responding to your work, and focusing on those who are interested in your work versus focusing on, you know, what the neighbor is doing or what the politics are happening and what that argument is about. There's a good thing that you can scroll, right? And instead of stopping on those posts that you know are triggers for you, you have the power to keep scrolling and stop on those who you know that it's gonna create some type of positive engagement or professional engagement, and just see it as that. And that's why, in my case, I cannot function in having different platforms. That's why I only have Facebook and Instagram. And to be honest with you, if you go to Facebook to my account, don't even bother, because probably the last time I posted was, although I think I posted last week. I don't know.
We have a question from Joanna. What is the best way to bring your art into the world? Should it be brought on your personal account? Is it better to create a separate art account, meaning on Instagram?
It's both. I mean, it's both, because as a person, you're an artist as well. So yeah, you want to have an account that is all about your art, right? So that collectors and people who are looking for art, they take you seriously. If they go and they only have one post and the rest are cat pictures, they're not going to believe you're an artist, right? So you want to have an account that's dedicated to your art. Now, if you want an account, you know, where you can blog and do the cat pictures and everything else, then you can have that, you know. And there are a lot of artists who actually started Instagram with an account that was more of a personal type of thing, and then slowly started to switch into more of an art account. And that's great, because they didn't have to start a new one. They just had to tell the audience, hey, guess what? You know, I'm going to be sharing more of my art slowly, and then kind of leave the behind the scenes for the Instagram stories. That's what the beautiful thing about Instagram is, that you can have your beautiful art, or, you know, your curated space as your wall, be selective on what you post. But then on Instagram stories, it's okay if you want to take a picture of the sunset, because guess what? You know, artists are
in 24 hours we'll be gone.
We like cats, we like dogs, you know, it's okay. And I always talk about, give it some context. For example, you know, if I go to a coffee shop and, you know, I take a quick snap picture for my Instagram stories, you know, I might say something like, you know, we just needed a little break from the studio today, went out for coffee, right? So it just gives it a little context. I think people who are not artists, you know, like here, you know, they like to see what artists do behind the scenes. And I think Instagram stories is the perfect example for that. So
yes, except and we have to make a suggestion that on your post, which is your wall, you want to be consistent. So if you're showing your artwork, be consistent on showing your artwork and talking about your artwork. And like Sergio said, we love arts, and I mean cats and dogs and all that, but you want to not have it on your wall. You want to post that on your stories, on your reels, on all that. So when a curator or a gallery is looking through your page, they will see a consistent, you know, view of your page, and they would have an idea of who you are as an artist. You want to capture them right away. You want to let them know, like, boom, this is me right here, right in front of you. You need to, you know, right? You need to be so assertive with your wall.
Right. And the good news is that on March 17, I'm going to be doing another webinar, again, of the Instagram one. So any friends who might want to check that out, you know, just keep an eye on my Insta for that. Which I go into, like, I talk about like the 4 main things that you may want to be doing on Instagram. You just focus on those 4 things.
Awesome. Let me ask you something. What do you think about the ads on Instagram, ads on Facebook? Do they think they help? How much should we pay for the ad? How often should we do ads? What do you think about that?
Well, ads are, you know, in any platform. Before Instagram, there were magazine ads, and were, you know, also paid advertisement on the newspaper. So ads have always been around. And I always say to artists, ads work only if you have a strategy, just like anything, right? If you have no strategy, you're just wasting your money. What's the purpose of the ad? What is it that I want to accomplish? How much I can afford? And what are my realistic expectations? Just because you boosted a post on Instagram doesn't mean you're going to sell more art. You know, what you're doing is just showing your page to more people. That's it. But so it's having a strategy that allows you to see what is it that I want to achieve. You know, what are the expectations? You know, what does it take to get it? We use ads all the time for everything that we do. You know, we use it for our programs. I use it as an artist. I use it even like if I'm going to go and speak, let's say somebody invites me to speak to Miami, for example, I may run some ads to Miami so they see me before I get there, right? It's the power of the medium that you can use very selective targeting. So
let's say that your end result, what you want to have done is to sell your artwork. That's what you want. You want them to go into your site. So you do an ad, and then then what?
Well, you have to remember that you have to understand how people buy art, right? People don't buy art like just scrolling like this and say, oh, that's a really nice painting from Sandra. I'm going to buy it right now. They have no clue who you are.
Exactly.
You know? So the idea that you're going to put an ad and somebody's just going to go click, it can happen, particularly, you know, for smaller works and things like that, you know, that happens. But for a larger piece, you know, something more meaningful like that, you know, it's a process. You can understand that people may see you, they like Sandra's art. They're like, oh, I'm going to start following Sandra. So now they're following you. Now they're watching you. Now they go to visit your website. So you're very good at having them on your website. You have a place in which they can put their email. Now you're also doing your email marketing. So then when the person all of a sudden sees that in April you have a really good event that's happening and you have a promotion, that's when the sale might happen, right? So that's the thing that you have to understand when you do advertising, that you know, it's not a quick, oh, I like it, I'm gonna buy it. That's why a lot of people get frustrated when they boost a post and like, I spend, you know, money and then nobody bought anything. Well, because, you know, there's different objectives. And there's also, like, for example, in Dynamics Global Academy, I have a course for how to create a cold audience versus a warm audience. There's difference. A warm audience, somebody who already knows you. A cold audience, somebody has never heard from you, right? The same way in which somebody may come to a webinar with me, right? If you already know me, like, oh, I'm going to go check out Sergio's webinar. If you have no idea who I am, well, I wonder if he's right. I wonder if, you know, if it's a scam, right? It's exactly the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I can't even thank you enough because you have donated 2 pieces in the past for Feeding America for your audience, because, as I said, I'm a guest weirdly on Sergio's channel, but it's invertly, they're my guest on Tap Into Your Creativity. So Tap Into Your Creativity is a project that I came, I had the idea when the pandemic started on how we as a community of artists could work together. And I created this thing that I called my Army of Artists, where we're working as a community to help people at large. And so when I invite artists to come into my channel, I have them create an original piece of artwork, and then we sell that. And 100% of the proceeds go to Feeding America. So far, we've more than 230,000 meals that we have provided. Yes, yes, it's amazing. I am so proud of my Army of Artists, and this is definitely couldn't do it without you guys. It's not a me, it's a we, and I absolutely love this project because I have met so many incredible artists, and we have done so much for Feeding America. It really 230,000 meals. I mean,
incredible.
The thought of it, it's like, what? So, so Sergio was incredible. And he said, you know what, Sandra, let's give another one today. So we're donating another original from Sergio. We're asking $250 for this incredible artwork. Oops. So if you're interested in purchasing this incredible artwork from Sergio, like I said, it's $250. It will go to Feeding America, 100% of the proceeds. Please DM me or Sergio for details, and we'll let you know how to proceed from that. But thank you, Sergio, so much.
No,
yeah.
There you go.
So can you talk about this piece and materials that you use and the title and all of that?
Yes, of course. So first of all, I want to say again, Sandra, thank you so much for what you are doing, again, to using your platform to bring artists and being part of this idea of helping Feed America, right? I think it's create a noble cause, and so much has been done. And because of you, because I know what it takes to line people up, to get them on speed, to send them the message, then to promote it. It's time that you could be making.
And then when Instagram doesn't work, you also know that.
Yeah, it's time that you could be making art in your studio, right? But you have said, no, I want to make a difference. I want to do something that matters. I want to do something that makes an impact. And as a result, also, you know, help people who are right now in need. And what I love about your project, or like many other things that happen like this, is that you always wonder, well, I wonder if they actually gave all the money to the cause, or they say they're going to donate something, but they don't tell you how much, right? Or, you know, what I love about what you're doing, Sandra, is that the person has to make the donation directly to the organization first. We don't touch the money. You don't touch a cent of it. The artist doesn't touch a cent of it. And that is fabulous. That is great, because then, you know, it cannot be said that, well, I want, you know, all those doubts.
Well, like you said before, right? You don't know me necessarily.
Exactly. Right.
You don't know if I'm honest necessarily.
Exactly.
And I didn't want to touch the money ever. I wanted always to go to the cause, because I knew the need was so big and it's only growing. You would think that it's getting better, but it's not. 1 in every 4 of our neighbors is going hungry. And for us to be able to provide 230,000 meals, it's definitely something to be proud of as a community of artists, to help at large. I am creating a catalog with all these images of what has been created this year. So my Army of Artists will have this incredible catalog to look through and see all the artists that have participated, over 60 right now. Incredible, incredible lineup of artists that have been so generous in donating their artwork. So he'll talk about that piece, please, if you can.
I can hold it because it's your piece. It looks like it's my piece.
Yeah, you're the model. So
we can see it, and we can see both your faces. I like that.
right. So first of all, it's not a print, right? It's an original work. This is it. So there you go.
There you
But they might not be able to hear me.
Oh, hold on. There you go.
All right, you just saw a little detail there. So yeah, it's an original. So it's the third piece that we do for this cause. And so it's a typical work of mine that uses like the red line, which to me is a symbol of connection, a symbol of blood, you know, kind of like the blood that runs through our bodies, through humanity. There's a figure here, which, you know, my work is figurative abstraction. So, you know, that's here. And there's a dog, which is always a symbol of peace, right? And what a noble cause of feeding America. Feeding on those who are hungry, you know, it's a peaceful kind of action. And so there's like this element which I've been using also quite a bit, like this snow or rain or light that comes down from above, which is always a symbol of hope. So even no matter how dark things are in the world might get, you know, there's always hope in the horizon.
So I see Jeffrey Equality Brooks wants it. So if you do, Jeffrey, please DM Sergio directly, and he will tell you. You go into feedingamerica.org, you make the donation for $250, and then you will send that receipt to Sergio, and then you will be helping 2,500 meals by purchasing this artwork. So it's a win-win. It's a win-win, you guys. So I love it. I love it. I love this piece. And I really love you guys so much for being here today, for trusting me, Sergio, because you didn't know me in the beginning. We have become good friends. I hope to become good friends of yours too, Yanina, through this.
Thank you.
And, you know, like I said, there's never enough time. You know, maybe we'll do this again, and hopefully this time will work in my channel. And
well, the good thing is that we're going to share the video, so you'll have it in your channel. I have it in my channel. So
yes, and then I'll put it up on my YouTube channel, and then it will go on Facebook. So it will go everywhere for you guys to see it. There is so much incredible information. I'm sure. Is there anything else that you would like to share with us?
Well, you know, just pretty much thanking you for inviting us, for having us be part of what you're doing.
Thank you.
For the second time. It's really great to have Yanina too comment, because she has helped so many artists along the way, and you know, her passion and love for art. an artist, it's something that we
Oh,
I appreciate.
Sergio, we haven't talked about your new curation.
Yeah, that's right. I know there's always something. So,
oh my gosh, we need to talk about that.
Okay, so
before we leave.
Really quickly, because a lot of things are closed right now. A lot of things, of course, galleries, museums, and so on. So it's a new initiative that started called Sergio Gomez Curates.net. The idea is to bring every month new exhibitions, fully curated on a three-dimensional environment, like a gallery setting three-dimensionally. The first show is already up. It's called Red Is. There was an amazing response. We did an open call for artists for 6 days. We got 1,050 something entries. We selected only 65 artists for that particular show.
Yeah, that week he slept less.
Yeah,
I'm sure. Oh my God, I can't even imagine.
And the whole premise of that is that because we know the situation, there's no fees to submit. There's no fees if you get accepted. Again, it's all sponsored by the Next Level Academy as well. So it's just
I submitted mine, so you'll have mine. It's already done, and the deadline is March 8th. So make sure you submit your artwork to Sergio's if you want to be selected. You guys, this is amazing. Think about this. You don't pay anything. It's all about the artist. It's all about your work. I mean, this is amazing opportunity, Sergio, that you're giving us artists.
And the best part of it is that if a person is interested in the artwork, they will click on the artwork and then it will zoom out, but then all the contact information goes straight to the artist. We will not get any commission. We don't sell it for you. It's the whole idea. If the person is interested, they go straight to the artist. We send them to the artist. And he will not, for this specific project, he does not collect any commissions. Mm-hmm. It's 100%. If someone is interested in your work and they purchase it from you, everything goes to you.
Mm-hmm. Great. Pretty San said, I did it today. Submitted. Yay. Is there any criteria, Joanna wants to ask?
Yes, every show has different criteria. So you want to go SergioGomezCurates.net to check that out. This particular show that's coming up is called Isolation Chronicles. So it's all about work that specifically relates to the isolation, right? It cannot be work that doesn't relate to that, right? Mm-hmm. So it has to be about that. And please do understand that it's a selection process. So not every artist will be accepted. And if you happen not to get accepted, also don't get discouraged. That's why we made it free, so you can continue.
I was just going to say that. Do not get discouraged. It's okay if people say no to you. Just keep trying, keep submitting, and just be you always, and stay true to yourself, and that will help.
Yeah.
A lot.
When it comes to, if I can add into it, every show is different, and there are specific criteria, and if you don't follow any of the criteria, automatically you will be removed. So you've got to read the fine print, read everything, because there's the response is such that he has to be extremely selective, which is why people, please read the fine prints. Each time there will be different dimensions, different sizes, different things. So because I see some people are asking for the size and all that, go to the website and read it yourself.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's a very good.
Exactly.
And lastly, of course, if you want to, thank you for sharing the link. And,
thank you so much, Jocelyn.
And for anyone who wants to connect and wants to also need help with their art career, of course, the Next Level Academy, we're there to help. Just message me or message Sandra, and then we'll send you a link to where to come find us.
Yeah.
So you guys, I can't thank you enough. Go to Art Next Level Academy. You will learn so much. I promise you. I'm an alumni from there. I can tell you firsthand, these are incredible people that you will just get so much for your buck. I can't tell you enough. Go there today and make sure that you register for all this incredible courses on anything and everything that you can think of. They are so available to you to answer every single question that you have. And so thank you for being into tapping to your creativity. And Sergio and Yanina, I'm sure we'll do this again one more time, maybe next month, in a couple months, because, you know, everybody just loves you guys. And it's just a pleasure for you guys to be here. So thank you so, so very much.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone for watching. Thank you.
Thank you for your
And before we go, Sergio, since you're having that, can you please add the picture that I put it on promotion for the Instagram,
Right.
IGTV?
We need to smile.
Oh my God.
I'll take a couple.
Well, you have the promotional piece of it, so we can use that. Like, I have all of them, so it will look the same as in all of them.
I think I took a couple screenshots over there.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add on really quick. Just go to our website is www.theartistnextlevel.com. So
yeah,
there you go.
Super.
Thank you guys. Take care.
Thank you,
Bye.
Sandra. See you soon.
Bye. Take care.
Check out our website at www.theartistnextlevel.com, where you will find our podcast library, learn about our upcoming webinars, find resources relevant to your career, and much more. Thanks for listening to today's podcast, and we'll see you at the next level.